Hi folks, this is another The World's Tumbling Down the Rabbit Hole video. WTI Crude just crashes. Its numbers hit below $30 a barrel. And OPEC members won't agree to emergency meeting. So this means that the members in OPEC who won't agree to the emergency meeting already know that it's being engineered down the rabbit hole, folks. And that basically an emergency crisis is looming with the shale and oil and gas industries, organized and engineered. Basically, that's exactly what this is, to a point where it all tumbles down. Whether it's controlled or whether it's just going to one day disappear and hit rock bottom, I don't know. But supposedly WTI crude crashes. It's below $30 a barrel. OPEC members won't rally to an emergency meeting, and everybody's going, okay, well then they're in on it. And at that point, the international community should go into every OPEC member office and place them under arrest and say, all right, what do you know and who are they? Go in and arrest everybody involved. And that way the situation gets fixed. Well, we already know the system won't get fixed because it won't get fixed by the law enforcement groups that are basically put up by the people controlling this, so we already know that won't happen. And we know there's nothing in that is currently up where we can set up a private law enforcement group who has international authority to prosecute, have the judges and everybody meet and prosecute and hold these guys accountable. We know that will never happen under the central banking system that is currently using its stock markets and its resources to engineer a economic collapse of one sort or another. Whether it's bubble after bubble with no end in sight that will never come down, or one that will eventually come down. But this is the situation. I found this. I'm like, oh, I need to report that. I need to put that out there. So this is the situation with this. After 26% spike off January lows, WTI is now down 14% high, and on record as a and it turns out that most OPEC members are against an emergency meeting. Now, this was the only story I was able to find on this, and I do believe that if I go on the WTI Crude website, I can probably find these stats, and if I go on OPEC, I will eventually find out who, what, when, where, how, and why. But right now, I'm not worried about that. The only thing I'm worried about is putting that there is a general consensus out there that OPEC members won't agree to an emergency meeting on the fact that these crude stocks are starting to plummet and not go up past a certain value, almost like their systems are being held by engineering AI softwares or AIs themselves that have already been taken over, which we won't go into that. And they're basically being suspended below a certain point, let's say below $50, where before they were above, say, $150. And those systems said, okay, above 150, now it's below 50, okay, now this is where we can keep it. And basically, this is their idea of stabilizing the situation. Oh, it'll be up tomorrow, it'll be up next week, don't worry. Well, I'm kind of worried, you know. I'm at least a little worried about this. OPEC members won't agree to an emergency meeting, or at least most won't. Well, those most will definitely be the ones that know about it, you know. So this is just another, you know, situation that's tumbling down the rabbit hole that's already been predestined to do this, and we're just sitting back watching it happen. And it's no secret that these guys are probably already allowing AIs to have authority over this in one point or another. So the idea that this is actually in, say, some IMF computer base system where somebody says, all right, today the stocks will, be up 20%. Okay, today the crude will fall 20% is ridiculous. I am a firm believer that political situations have been put up to cause the significant downfall of the crude stocks, and that the AI systems in the background behind the stock exchange are actually holding these things frozen, say below $50 a barrel, so that if the companies are making money where they do have assets to where they could raise it above, say, $70 a barrel tomorrow, the stocks would never show it, and that would go back to the companies, and the companies would receive orders from some source or another saying that they have been denied the ability to raise prices to $100 a barrel tomorrow. And whether that goes back to an AI computer, whether that goes back to an IMF-sponsored branch or anything else, you and I will never know. But these are the facts as they're coming in. I'm going to look at OPEC and find out exactly what the websites are saying and everything else, whether it's about WTI crude or other sources, because they do need an emergency meeting. I believe the United Nations needs to be brought in on this, and they need to close this down, but obviously they're on the inside, so they're not going to do jack. Thank you.